Time. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about election debates here on HTV. We're going to show you the schedule, show you some of the rules and some of the changes that we've experienced here at HTV concerning our ability to sell half-hour slots and so on. We also will bring you up to date from Lafourche Parish, as there was a shooting for a suspected vehicle burglar this morning. We had a camera person on the scene to capture some of those events. Also, we have Chief Todd Duplantis, Sergeant Kyle Falk of the Houma Police Department to talk about the National Night Out Against Crime, a very successful program. Later on in the night, Cam Morvaughn, the Lafourche Parish District Attorney, will be on the set to talk about, you guessed it, bath salts and synthetic marijuana. So crucial are the DAs in this fight to get it off the shelves. At 7:15, we'll have Dr. Robert Alexander, a urologist at Terrebonne General Medical Center, and Blair Duthu, a physical therapist. And they will talk about bladder matters and urinary incontinence. That will be tonight. Very important subject. And then we have Nicholls State University, Dr. Laney Barlow and Dr. Robert Bremer, and sports with Stan Gravois. So we have a lot to cover tonight on Bayou Time.
Deep in the heart of the bayou, we are gathered here tonight. Now it's time for action, 'cause our lives are on the line. Tonight we'll do our very best to break through all the bureaucratic mess. The time has come tonight, 'cause it's Bayou time. Show what Louisiana's all about.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Martin Folse. Like I said in the intro and the tease to the program, a lot to talk about tonight. But we're going to start off with news like we normally do. And certainly we turn our attention to Lafourche Parish, where a suspected vehicle burglar was shot after being caught in the act by a Thibodaux resident. That leads off our stories tonight on The Local Look.
Deputies Wednesday morning arrest a burglar off Burma Road that was shot by a resident after allegedly trying to break into several vehicles along St. Charles Bypass Road. Deputies say shortly after 5:30 a.m., someone reported that someone was trying to break into their vehicle, and the caller then paused and a gunshot was heard on the line. Lafourche Parish officials have identified the suspect as Sean Richard of Raceland. Lafourche Parish officials say the investigation is still ongoing, and deputies at the scene say the injuries sustained by the alleged burglar were believed to be superficial. In more Lafourche Parish news, Lafourche Parish deputies make an arrest in an elaborate check-cashing scam and are looking for more suspects. Lafourche Parish officials say homeless individuals from New Orleans were being picked up and asked to cash bogus checks in the area. Florida officials have arrested Jasmine Dykes at a traffic stop in Florida for warrants in Lafourche Parish following the investigation. Deputies are currently looking for another suspect named Brandy in these surveillance videos. In Houma Police news, Houma Police make an arrest in a separate alleged check-cashing scam in Terrebonne.
The Houma Police Department received a complaint of some bogus checks that were cashed at the Plaza Latino on Grand Calle Road. Through investigation, detectives learned that the suspect, Linda Petrie, a white female, 40 years of age, had cashed 2 checks that were phony in excess of $2,000 apiece. The suspect was contacted and informed officers that she had received the checks in the mail. Upon doing so, was supposed to be a mystery shopper. She then cashed 1 check on July 12th. At which time the owner of the store contacted the suspect and informed her that the check was indeed bogus and there was no such account that it existed. Subsequently, the suspect returned to the store approximately 2 weeks later and cashed an additional check. When detectives caught up with her after learning her identity, She stuck with the story that she was a mystery shopper, however, was unable to provide any information or receipts to state such that she had attempted to buy anything at any local stores. The suspect was placed under arrest and charged with 2 counts of monetary instrument abuse, and she was locked down at the Terrebonne Parish Criminal Justice Complex to await trial or bond. It's very important that we'd like to make everybody aware out there. There are several scams that come in from overseas and some inside the United States. And if you get something in the mail via email, telephone, or in the mail itself, please contact your local authorities if it appears to be suspicious. And remember, sometimes when it seems too good to be true, it usually is.
All right, there you have it. I want to turn back our attention to a burglary suspect in custody after being shot by a victim of crime in Lafourche Parish. Let's bring up that mugshot if we can. And there it is in the straight release from the sheriff of Lafourche Parish. Sheriff Craig Weber announced a suspected vehicle burglar was shot this morning after being caught in the act by a Thibodaux resident. Deputies were dispatched to the 100 block of St. Charles Bypass Road shortly before 5:30 a.m. this morning. Investigators on the scene determined the victim was woken up by his barking dog and found Sean Richard, a white male, born on 2/18/78, living at 2072 Highway 1 Raceland, in his vehicle. Well, the victim indicated that as Richard exited the vehicle, he grabbed for something in his oversized sweatshirt, and the resident shot once, striking Richard in the right rib cage area. Richard ran from the scene and was found a short time later by deputies. He was hiding under a nearby trailer. Richard was treated and released at a local hospital for what is described as a flesh wound. Further investigation revealed that Richard had burglarized a number of vehicles on St. Charles Bypass Road overnight. Stolen property has been recovered and detectives are in the process of returning it to the victims. The investigation continues, and at this time Richard is in the process of being booked on burglary and trespassing charges. At this time, there are no plans to charge the victim, and the district attorney's office will be consulted. Mr. Richard has an extensive criminal history dating back nearly 15 years, according to Sheriff Craig Weber. And he had managed to convince others who caught him last night that he needed water or to use a telephone, and he decided to continue his illegal activity anyway. And according to Sheriff Weber, while we certainly don't encourage the public to take the law into their own hands, the victim in this case thought his life was in danger. So there you have the story from Lafourche Parish. And we had Chris Matthews of HTV on that scene early this morning, getting some of that video for you. And certainly a lot of activity in the news world as far as police news today in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to go over some election coverage rules that we're going to be having here on HTV. Also some changes, also some debate nights, and then after that we're going to have the Houma Police Department up. So we have one more segment to go over some ground rules for debates and all, and then we'll start our action with all of our guests tonight. And then the District Attorney of Lafourche Parish will be on to talk about synthetic marijuana and bath salts, and that'll be later in the program. You won't want to miss that. We'll be right back.